Hi guys. So yesterday was Labor Day, so I didn't get a chance to meet with periods 1, 2, and 4. And today I did get a chance to meet with 6th period, but I know that a lot of you were not able to make that WebEx meeting this morning. So I did want to film just a little brief video recap. This is a recap of this week's virtual lesson just because periods 1 through 4 did not even get it at all, and period 6 had many students miss out. So the first thing that we talked about was just essentially how to navigate my Schoology class. This should look familiar to you guys. This is my little Bitmoji classroom on Schoology. But I still am getting a few questions from students each week about where to access assignments or how to keep track of when things are due. So I do want to just do a brief overview quickly. The first thing that I want to point out is if you click my little Bitmoji, it will actually bring you to the weekly video, which is what you're watching right now. This is actually last week's Bitmoji classroom, so if I click on myself, it will bring you to last week's open house intro video. This week, if you click it, it will bring you to this video. The second thing is assignments are always written on the board, and not just assignments, just important things in general. So for example, today it said, hey, period 6, we're meeting today at blah, blah, blah time. So you can always read what's on the whiteboard for the most important things. So last week you were assigned the escape room activity. So if you click on that, it will bring you directly to that assignment, which was assigned last Tuesday, and it's actually due tomorrow, Wednesday, September 9th. A few of you have had issues opening this portion, but if you read the highlight, it says, guys, click the file at the bottom. So if you scroll all the way down, you can click this, it will download for you, and you can open that up right away. And this is the assignment. So it has 3 tasks, and this is what we talked about in class today. I just briefly went over those 3 tasks. The first one is task 1, organizing body systems. So I gave you 20 different organs, and your job is to sort them into these 7 different body systems. So there are way more than 20 organs, and there are way more than 7 body systems, but that's what you are working with today. So your job is for each of these to figure out which body system it's a part of. So we're going to start with the liver. The liver, if you look it up, you will find that it's in the digestive system. So what I would recommend is you can just write your answers right in here. And it's nice to write the number next to it too, because it's going to come in handy when you have to add up those numbers at the end. The other thing I like to do is I like to change the color of the font for my work so that it stands out from the rest of the assignment. So liver is 25 points. The salivary glands, they produce saliva in your mouth, and they're actually also responsible for digestion. So I'm going to put salivary glands, and that is worth 1 point. Spinal cord, that is in your nervous system. So I'm going to write spinal cord here. That's worth 2 points. Again, change the color of my font. And I'm just going to keep going with the rest of these organs and sorting them into the correct system. Now, when you're done with that, you are going to add up the total of all of the organs in that system. So I'm going to scroll down for a minute and read these 2 examples. So first example says the bones, which are worth 15 points, are actually the only organ that's listed up here in this chart that belongs to the skeletal system. So I'm just going to throw bones in here. And if you look, there's nothing else in this chart that belongs to the skeletal system. So actually, that is our final answer. It has 15 points in it. So I'm going to highlight those. My final answer, I'm going to bold. And that's just for me. I just like to stay organized. So the skeletal system has a total of 15 points, and I already typed it into here, but you just type it right next to these. The nervous system contains the brain, which is 2 points, and the spinal cord, which is 2 points. So we already sorted the spinal cord, but if I came over here and also added the brain for 2 points, 2 plus 2 is going to give us 4 points. So the nervous system has a total of 4 points. And again, we just write that here. So when you're done sorting all of the organs, you're going to get a number for the digestive system, and you're going to get a number for the endocrine system. And those numbers are going to come into play on the next part which is math. Okay, so you're going to plug in the numbers into these equations. So digestive minus skeletal is going to give you A. And whatever you get for that, you're going to type the answer here. So I'm actually going to pull up my answer key for a split second. Sorry. Okay, so the digestive system is actually 54 points. So if you take 54 and you subtract 15, that's going to give you the answer to A, and you're going to type that number right here, whatever you get. You're also going to plug in your numbers for respiratory, nervous, and endocrine. Don't forget to do the parentheses first before subtracting it. So we already know that the nervous system's worth 4, but you're going to have to calculate respiratory and endocrine in order to get B. And then you're going to take whatever value you got for cardiovascular, you're going to subtract what you got for the urinary, and that's going to give you C. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3 numbers, and you're going to add those numbers together, and you're going to get a 3-digit answer, okay? Something like 1, 2, 3. That's not the answer, but that's just my example. Now, the last part is you're going to add these 3 digits together to get 1 digit here. So if I add 1 plus 2 plus 3, then my answer would be 6, and I would plug in a 6 right here. Now, that is not the answer, but I want you to be aware that that's what you've got to do for that final step. So you're not going to write 1, 2, 3 here. You're going to add 1 plus 2 plus 3, and that's going to give you 6, which is what you would type here. So whatever you get for your 3-digit answer, don't forget to add those digits together. Task 2 is probably a little bit faster. There are 6 multiple choice questions, and you simply just have to answer them. And then depending on whether you answer A, B, C, or D, it's going to either be worth 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, or 4 points. So I'm just going to do this one right here. So what does a restriction enzyme do? If you remember from PBS or if you look it up on the internet, it is responsible for cutting DNA. It's like the little DNA scissors. So I'm going to highlight my answer and bold it and change the color so that it stands out. You can do it however you want. And don't forget that since we put C, that means that we're going to add 3 points to our score. And then whatever you answer for questions 2 through 6, you're going to also write down how many points they're worth. Okay, so cuts DNA is worth 3 points. Whatever you get for this one, if you choose A, it's going to be worth 1 point. If you choose B, it's going to be worth 2 points, etc. You're going to add those 6 scores together. Or 6, I guess, answers together, whatever you want to say. So if you come up here to my example, let's say that you answered the 6 multiple choice questions, A, C, D, 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 D. So A is going to be worth 1 point. C is worth 3 points, so I'm adding 1 plus 3. And then we have 4 Ds, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of those is worth 4 points, so plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. If that's what we got for our answers, we would get a total score of 20, okay? And just like the last time, you're going to get a 2-digit score for your quiz, something like 20 or 18 or 11. It's going to have 2 digits. You're going to add those 2 digits together to get 1 single number here. Just 1, not 2 digits. Now the last one is straightforward but kind of difficult to do virtually. You're going to answer the questions to fill out this crossword puzzle, and then at the end you're going to count how many A's you found in the crossword puzzle. And so whatever number you get is going to be your last 2 digits because you're going to count a 2-digit number of A's. So again, my example is if the crossword puzzle has 23 A's in it, then the last 2 numbers in your code would be 2, 3. Now that is not the number of A's, but you will have to complete the clues in order to count those A's. Now, a lot of you do not have access to a printer, and a lot of you cannot write on your computer screen like a tablet. So what I recommend is you can actually just write your answers right next to the clue. So the kneecap bone, maybe you know it, maybe you don't, but you can Google it. Its name is the patella. So the patella is the kneecap bone. Again, of course, because I'm me, I'm going to change the color and font of my answer. Anterior to the esophagus. So the esophagus is the food pipe, and directly in front of it is the windpipe. And if you look, windpipe does not fit in here. W-I-N-D-P-I-P. Oops, we don't have enough space to write windpipe. So if you look it up online, the fancy scientific word for windpipe is called the trachea. And if you look, trachea does fit. T-R-A-C-H-E-A. Trachea. And you're just going to keep doing this for all of the clues. You can just write them down right next to each other, and then you can count how many A's are in each clue. So patella has 2 A's, trachea also has 2 A's, and so on and so forth. And however many A's you get in the crossword puzzle, you are going to type right here, and then that is going to be the last 2 digits of your 4-digit lock code. When you've got that, shoot me an email with your code, but also with your work, because if you even make the tiniest mistake, your code is going to be off. And I would rather give you specific feedback like, oh, you need to do this and check this answer again, rather than just saying, I don't know, your code's not right. So make sure you send me your work as well. Going back to how to navigate my Schoology. So we talked about the weekly video, we talked about assignments. Weekly schedule is a really important place that you need to know about. If you see this red and white calendar on the wall, you can click it and it will actually bring you to the weekly schedule. Now, this is last week's because I was clicking on last week's Schoology page. So last week is when I posted Activity 110, the escape room. And so if you notice, this second week is actually this current week. So we had Labor Day on Monday, so we did not have school, which is why I didn't meet with periods 1, 2, and 4. Today, I did have a chance to meet with period 6, but if you missed it, that's why you're watching this video right now. And then tomorrow on Wednesday, September 9th, is when that escape room activity is due. So make sure that you guys work on that tonight and tomorrow if you haven't finished it yet. And this schedule is where you're going to find all the important things that are being posted, but also when things are due, and then also special events. So like last week we had an open house on Thursday from 5 to 7. So that was embedded right into my weekly schedule. And again, you can get to that just by clicking the little calendar on the wall, and it will bring you to that weekly schedule. The last thing is when you are coming to my weekly online classes through WebEx, I'm not going to send you an invitation to the meeting. It's not going to be in an email. It's actually just always a link, like a permanent link that you can access by clicking this blue computer screen. So it says click the blue screen on the laptop to be brought directly to the weekly live classes. So if your class is being held at 10 a.m., you can log into Schoology at 9:55, come to my page, get ready to click on the little blue laptop screen, which will bring you right to the WebEx classroom. The last thing that I want to bring up is if you missed class today and you are in 6th period HBS, you need to answer these warm-up questions because they are an assignment for you. Periods 1, 2, and 4, you do not have to do this assignment because you guys are off the hook because you did not have live class on Monday. So this is actually only an assignment for 6 periods. So if you're in periods 1, 2, and 4, you can head out. Thanks for watching. Period 6. You do need to answer these warm-up questions and send them to me. You could type your answers into a message on Schoology and send it. You could type your answers into an email and send it. Or you could write them on paper, take a picture, and just send me your picture either through Schoology or email. And I know my face is in the way of these questions, so let me exit out of this so that you can see all 3 questions. And have a wonderful day, guys. This is all I've got for you.